You think you know the moon. Listen closely, it's been keeping a secret. The room went still before he finished the sentence. Dr. Malek Kato had always been the composed kind of scientist, the sort who smiled at paradoxes. Tonight, that composure cracked. He stared at the image behind him as if it were a confession. His hands trembled as he tapped a slide. The audience, scientists, reporters, historians, felt the air change. What began as a routine data briefing became something else entirely. The instruments, Kato said, did not lie. Quantum deep imaging satellites had returned a map no textbook prepared us for. Beneath the regolith, not random caverns, but vast hollow chambers. Cavities not measured in meters but in kilometers. Arranged with a geometry that resisted accidental formation. Lines, corridors, domes, patterns repeating with mechanical precision. Heat signatures pulsed within those voids. Not the slow bleed of geothermal rock, but focused, rhythmic bursts. The sort of output you expect from systems, not stone. He did not call them tunnels. He did not call them caves. He called them interiors. Then the gravity maps appeared. Independent datasets from 3 agencies layered together. A lattice, a hidden skeleton, threaded pole to pole. Where seismology showed silence, the grid showed purpose. The lattice aligned with the hollow cavities, like ribs to a chest. If structural, it implied engineering on a planetary scale. If powered, it suggested function. Function for what, he asked, and the question hung heavier than the data. The presentation pivoted from hard numbers to old stories. Kato traced mythic images across the screen, clay tablets, carved stelae, temple murals. Civilizations across continents described the moon as a rival, as teacher, as something not quite like the rest of the heavens. What once read as metaphor now cast shadows of memory. Eclipse after eclipse, cultures ritualized the moment the moon swallowed the sun. Why would a natural satellite conspire to create theater? Why would its dimensions be so precisely suited to hide and reveal? Then came the metals. Subsurface radar returned echoes that danced in the way of engineered alloys. Materials we do not mine, arranged in grids and panels under layers of dust. In simulation, those alloys behaved like shielding, resilient, purposeful. When virtual impacts were applied, the structures flexed like built frames, not fractured rock. Kato slowed the clip to the audio from decades ago. Apollo telemetry, old mission tapes, static-laced voice channels. Some reels were whole, some cut, some reportedly overwritten. Yet what survived was unnerving. Impact experiments from the 1960s and 70s recorded the moon ringing for far longer than expected. The ascent stage collision on Apollo 12 produced tones that lingered. Not the dull thud of stone, a sustained resonance like a struck bell. NASA archived it as anomaly. Now, with interior maps, the anomaly sang a different tune. Multiple missions produced echoes with the same signature. Hollow, reinforced, tuned. And there were emissions, slow, low-frequency bursts from the lunar far side. Radio arrays had cataloged them for years, dismissed them as noise. But advanced filtering revealed repeating pulses, patterns that suggested signaling. Localized coordinates lit up with clockwork precision. The pulses spiked when probes passed behind the moon. As if something beneath the dust listened when we crept around the far side. Kato's voice fell to a whisper. We trained instruments at the moon for decades and assumed it was a silent partner. The data now argued otherwise. Its orbit, near perfect, stable, tidally locked, came under new scrutiny. Why such surgical placement? Why such unlikely alignment to produce perfect eclipses? Chance shrinks under scrutiny, design grows louder. He did not accuse. He did not claim ownership, origin, or motive. He presented patterns, probabilities, and a ledger of anomalies. Then he showed the redacted files. Gaps in mission logs, tapes labeled over, transcripts with black bars where words had been erased. Whistleblowers, he said, are aging. Some speak now of briefings and warnings. Astronauts told to not discuss certain moments. Radar readings quietly filed away. Secrecy, Kato suggested, was a currency of its own. The implication was simple and terrifying: someone knew. Or something did. As the final slide faded, Kato stepped back, and for the first time, the man known for elegant equations could not hide his grief. Tears traced clean lines down his face. The auditorium